Analyze conversation flow is support software for a specific operational decision. Analyzes the flow and patterns of multi-turn conversations to identify user intent progression and system response effectiveness. This video explains what the tool does, why the workflow matters, and how the output becomes useful decision evidence. The problem is that support teams often manage this workflow with scattered inputs, inconsistent review rules, and manual interpretation. At quarantadue.ai, every MCP workflow starts from the real tool interface, not from a generic prompt. The goal is simple. Keep the expert in control while the system structures the evidence. Inputs, reasoning, and outputs stay connected in one reviewable flow. Now the results become easier to compare, easier to review, and easier to explain. Analyze conversation flow narrows that process into a repeatable model so teams can compare cases without rebuilding the logic each time. Analyze conversation flow starts with a defined input contract. Typical inputs include total turns, user intent changes, clarification requests, conversation complexity, and repeat questions. Keeping these fields explicit reduces ambiguity and makes every run easier to audit. The workflow then applies calculate the smoothness of intent progression as a percentage, penalized by user intent changes and clarification requests relative to the total number of turns. Calculate a 0-10 score rating conversation efficiency toward resolution, with bonuses for reaching resolution and penalties for excessive turns and clarification requests. Calculate a factor quantifying the impact of escalation on the conversation, where 1.0 is baseline, EV 1.1. 0 indicates negative impact, adjusted by turn count and satisfaction score. Classify the conversation flow pattern based on thresholds for user intent changes, clarification requests, and escalation presence into categories like efficient, escalating, or clarification heavy, and calculate an adjusted efficiency score that accounts for conversation complexity, penalizing simple conversations less for inefficiencies and rewarding complex conversations more for good performance. This keeps the process deterministic, reviewable, and aligned with how support teams actually make decisions. Analyze conversation flow returns structured outputs such as progression index, efficiency score, complexity adjusted score, flow pattern, and escalation impact versus satisfaction. These outputs are designed to support review, reporting, comparison, and follow-up actions. The value of analyze conversation flow is not just automation, it is a controlled way to turn repeated support work into a documented business process with clear inputs, transparent logic, and reusable outputs.